While you're looking for that picture, Rod, I can share my screen if you want. I found this thing the other day that it was prompts for Chat GPT. I don't know how many of you guys are using Chat. I use it some, and I've invested in some different prompts for it. And I tell you what, this cheat sheet that I found the other day is probably better than some of the paid stuff I've seen, because it gives you a breakdown of how to actually create your prompts. So it's got on here your different roles. So what you can tell it is tips, restrictions. You can how to create your prompts, how to, well, trying to make it large, how to build your prompts, specific ways to do it, different tones you can talk in, and writing styles. So I'm going to share this cheat sheet with you guys too, because the first thing I did when I found it was I saved it in my phone, and then I put it in my favorited photos after I screenshot it, because it was, in my opinion, it was probably one of the better ones that I've seen. I mean, I bought some of those prompts that, like, hey, write better or do this better, and the prompts are good, but it never did explain to you why you're wanting to word it this way or why you're wanting to do it this way. And this has a pretty good breakdown of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure and share this with you guys as well. I don't know if I can
you
share
zoom
it
in a
directly.
little?
Yep.
There, okay.
So, it shows you the steps of how to build it, how to describe what you're doing to it. And then it also gives you different things. So depending on what you're looking for, it gives you the best
And
GPT.
do you use 4.0 or 3.5?
I only use 3.5. I've been looking at 4.0, but I haven't did it. I use 3.5, and I pay for some other APIs to incorporate in some other things I'm doing.
Okay. And has it been working well, the free version? No prompts?
I mean, every once in a while, it gets too many people on there, and it tells you it can't help you.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I mean,
that happens with
it's
the paid version as
free.
well.
You just have to live with that when that happens. But what I've done is I wrote like a 5 or 6 email, 7 email cold email campaign, and then I took all the emails and I ran it back through chat saying, this this is what I'm doing, this is what we need to do. You can use bits and pieces of this, or you can use all of this. And it spit out 7 different ones that were similar, but obviously written better.
And what subject line are you using for cold emailing?
And now that changes. I've got 4 or 5 different ones that I do, but I'll always run it through Mail Meteor. So whatever subject line I like, okay, I'm going to try this, I'll go to Mail Meteor and test my subject line. And what it does is it rates it on a scale. So if it's below like a 75, I try and change it. And usually they have suggestions for how to do it. Sometimes it's just switching words around. Sometimes it's just changing the phrase to get to a similar point. And now, that being said, my best open rate thus far was apologies in advance. That one, that particular subject line had the best open rate. So I mean, there's ones you can try, obviously incorporating their name or business, or asking a question that piques their interest. Those are all good. Let me see here. I can share with you guys. Give me just a second. I'll get my email campaign open, and I'll share with you guys some of the email messages that I'm using. or email subject lines, excuse me. And this is something that I'm always tweaking too. So subject line using the company and discover how we can help. That one has a decent open rate. Seeking help from company name for a quick question. That one's all right as well. Discover how we can help you, and then using their name. Then just flopping that same concept, company name, discover how we can help you. Those are all okay. I mean, none of them are like great. Like I said, I'm playing with different things. This one's for move out cleaning. Simplify your move out cleaning machine. So that's just a few of them. Simplify your move out clean. Simplify. So this one I ran through. I ran through Mail Meteor, and it seemed to be a fairly decent one. So I've used it. Then into what I'm trying to build out is like a 13-month drip campaign. So if somebody doesn't respond now, they get an email once a month over the course of the next 13 months, unless they unsubscribe. So this is like company name, unlock your potential. Excuse me, unlock the potential of our service. This is the one that got the best open rate. This was for real estate. We regret the need to apologize in advance. So I got like a 60-some% open rate with this one. Then I got does company name, office smell clean. This one's pretty good too. The 7 warning signs of improper cleaning. This one seems to be working decent. Elevate your cleaning office experience. Let's see here. This one I haven't tested enough. Addressing your facility's cleaning concerns. And the rest of these, I'm not deep enough into my trial to say if they're working. But these all scored pretty high on the Mail Meteor, like make every first impression count.
And out of how many emails would you get a positive reply, you think?
I mean, if I'm at 4%, I'm pretty happy with that. So, I mean, it's just a numbers game when it comes to email marketing. I mean, I've had some that are just, I get crazy good open rate and then crappy reply rate. So then it's like, okay, the subject line's good, the call to action sucks, or the first line of it sucks and they close it. So it's just a matter of keep playing with it until you get something that works. And that's where chat comes in. If you use those other prompts, like, hey, you're an email marketer. This is what we're going after. Well, only thing we need is a 5-minute phone call to do a needs assessment. So your call to action is basically just asking for that. This is how you're going to close. You want to be brief. And you can give it whatever type of prompts that you want within that, and then feed it what's already working. So this is what's working, but it needs to be rewritten. And it'll give you ideas, and you can tell it, take this one idea and give me 4 from it. So there's ways to do it, to keep working on it, keep playing with it. I mean, email marketing is one of those things you just have to keep playing with it until you're right. And usually simpler is better. I've seen a lot of very long-winded ones, and you're going to lose people if you talk too much about your company. If you talk too much about anything, you're going to lose them. I'm one that's always straight to the point. It's like I try to get a good opening, a good subject line to open it, and then a good opening line, and then try and hit some sort of pain that they're currently most likely seeing. If they're not seeing it, then they're not going to be looking for a cleaner. But there's specific things, if they are seeing, then that could trigger them to be like, hey, this person may be right. I should give them 5 minutes to do a needs assessment with me. But Mail Meteor, let me see if I have the link to Mail Meteor. Yeah. So Mail Meteor, I will also share the link to, but it's going to look like this right here. It's an email subject line tester. So, right, you put in your subject line here, test it, and then it's going to tell you where you rate, and then it's going to give you other options that may be better or not. So this is a good tool to use, and it's free right now with Mail Meteor. Let me see here. I'm going to drop it in the comments here for you guys. If you're not currently testing your subject lines, that's usually a good place to do it. So you get a better idea if you're going to have a decent open rate before you roll out a campaign. And then obviously too, you're going to have the numbers in it. You got to have you're going to have a few hundred emails go out before you can really say, well, this subject line isn't working. And you can't just send out 100 and say it's not working. You're going to have to send out probably at least 500, probably more like 1,000 to 2,000 to really be like, hey, this subject line isn't working. It's, my open rate is only 5% or 10%. It's not working good enough.
Most, what's the decent pay? 1,000?
Say that one more time. I missed you.
How many do you mail a day?
A day? So
Yeah.
you got to be careful with your inbox, because if you do too much, you're gonna automatically put yourself in spam. So let's say you have a dedicated inbox that has it's a domain style. It's not like an @Gmail or @Yahoo. It's an business name. Everybody's kind of all over the place on what you can do. Firstly, you need to warm it up. So before it's warmed up, don't send more than 50 emails a day. After it's warmed up, then there's some people who say cap it at 50. Some people say you can go up to 1,000. I'm one that says it's a domain email. Make sure it's warm. You probably want to keep it less than 100 or 150 emails a day. If you can spread it around, it's better. And that's solely because if one of your emails gets burnt, for a better, I guess for lack of a better expression, it gets burnt, you can just ditch it, and then you're not down, say, 1,000 emails a day. You're only down 100 or 150 or 50, wherever you have your limit set at. But you definitely want to have some sort of limit, because you don't want to trigger as being spam. So you don't want to put everybody's email in one, like a blind copy, and send out 150 emails at one shot. You want to be able to use some sort of program, be it Lemlist, be it ClickReach, be it Instantly, Mail Meteor, GMass, any of those. You'll want to set it up with that so that it will automatically send on a timely manner for you. So you're not sitting there, hey, it's 5 minutes, let's send another email. It'll do it all for you, and it doesn't send it in one big chunk. Now, I think that said, GMass may send them in one chunk, so you'll have to double check on that. Obviously, Instantly, Lemlist, ClickReach are going to be better options. Lemlist, if you're going for sheer volume, is going to be your best option. Instantly, not Lemlist, I'm sorry. Instantly is going to be your best option if you're going for huge volume, because you can hook up unlimited email accounts to it.
Or you can just go my thing in business.
Say that again.
Can you scan? Hello.
You're breaking up a little, Fernando.
Can you?
Yeah, you're still breaking up some on me. Is it on my end? Might be on my end. Check my internet, make sure I'm looking solid here. No, I think I'm all right on this end. Yeah. All right, Rod. Well, while we're waiting on Fernando to jump back on, we can shift gears into that floor, or if you got questions about the emailing, I'll try my best to answer them. Obviously, Alex is a better resource when it comes to the internet side of marketing than I would be, but I know a few things.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up the screen right now.
Okay.
I have it. There we go. Okay, can you see it, Josh?
Yeah, I can see it.
Go back. So this is one of the. Well, these aren't the ones. These are the bad ones, the worst.
Wow.
So you could see these stairs compared to this. This is the when you first walk in the door. So
Right.
everyone uses these stairs. And then we got another set that are pretty bad. Oh, they like, yeah, you can see.
Wow.
And then that floor too. Have to do that floor. And then this is in the kitchen area. So I could see right here where it might be sealed, but you see all this?
Right.
That's just another set of stairs that aren't that bad. It's a few other areas. I think my phone might have been tripping out or died or something. So I
Right.
wasn't able to get it. But they're a little bit less worse than the stairs.
Wow. So what like when you're scrubbing tile, what chemical are you currently using?
So the last time when I did the tile, I used something called Cyclone.
Right.
And then I used like with the tiling, it's mainly used for that grout, that
Right.
Cyclone stuff. Then I have this other stuff called Hurricane, which is more of a stone cleaner,
Right.
and then the Chemies.
Now, with all of those, I guess it just depends on what where you're at, I guess, right? So what you look at it and you're like, that's going to use chemies, that's going to use the cyclone, that will need the hurricane. Is that how you're currently doing it when you're assessing a floor?
Yeah, so with all the grout and stuff, I just automatically use Cyclone. When
Okay.
it's real greasy, I've used Cyclone. I've
Chemies?
used Kimmy's.
Yeah. So this one you showed me a kitchen. Is this one bad greasy, or is it just a build up? I mean, the steps just look like it was build up.
Just build up.
Gotcha.
Hey, Josh, could you give me a second? I had to do a Zoom call.
Yeah, that's fine.
It shouldn't be too long.
Yeah, that's fine. Just hop back on when you're done.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right. So as we're waiting, we'll talk a little more about this. We'll talk a little more about this cheat sheet for Chat GPT. All right. So if you've ever used prompts or paid for prompts, that gives you specific wording that you can use and you build whatever you're doing around that. The thing I like about this particular this particular cheat sheet is it gives you the steps that you need to actually build it, which a lot of the ones that you have the pre-built prompts, you don't get that. So this right here is great because it tells you specifically how you word it, how you build around it in order to build the best prompt that you need. You've got your different tones and writing styles. So that's both great too for depending on your audience, depending on who you're talking to, you can change up. You can change up your writing style and your tone. Let's see if I can get this to move. All right. Can't see all my sheet. All right. You also have the different roles that you can give to Chat GPT as you're doing the instructions. So this right here, I'll make sure and post. I found it extremely helpful. I just found this a few days ago. I personally was pretty impressed with it, so I figured, what the heck, I was going to download it. Once I downloaded it, I figured I would share it with the rest of you guys because, in my opinion, if you're using Chat, most of us who do use Chat aren't using it to its fullest capability, and some of us don't even know how to use it in an effective manner. So this right here should at least help you get more comfortable using it. If you're not already, try it out. If you are using it, it should make you more comfortable using it. Try it more. There's all kinds of different things you can do, and it'll help you along the way. So I'll make sure and do that. I'll make sure and put the link in when I share this video. Let's see here. We'll shift gears a little bit. When you're talking to customers, because we started talking about internet or email marketing, and we started talking about opening lines, subject lines, you always have to get something that piques people's interest to make them actually open it. So I guess the best way to look at it, if you're wanting to get into doing emails, and once again, reach out to Alex if you are, because Alex is a way better resource than I am on this. But since we're on the subject, I figured I'd give a couple of things. Your whole idea, the whole purpose of the email is to get a response, preferably a positive response back. So you have to break your email down into several things. Break it down as your subject line has only one job. That subject line job is to make me interested enough to open your email. Once I open it, you have one more job. That the first line has one job, and that's to keep my interest so that I keep reading. So whatever your opening line is, it needs to be enough to keep me going. Next is be brief, get to a point, and have a call to action. Tell me what to do next. Because if I'm reading what you're saying and I'm saying, yes, that's me, I need to know exactly what to do, or I'm just going to close your email and move on. So find whatever that call to action is that you want. What do you want me to do next? So subject line, strictly to get me interested enough to open your email. First line keeps me interested enough to keep reading. Brief keeps me interested to keep reading. Call to action, something that you want me to do. So maybe hey, if you're experiencing one of these 4 things right now with your current company, why don't you give me 5 minutes on the phone? We'll do a needs assessment to see if we're a fit. That it can be as simple as that, or it can be a little more. It can be a little more honed in. Either way, make sure you have your call to action, because it doesn't matter how great your opening rate is, right? I talked about an opening rate that was in excess of 60% earlier on this call. Response rate sucked. Response rate was less than 1%. So it doesn't matter how many people open it if nobody responds to it. It means something within there lost them. So make sure your subject line gets their attention and peaks it enough to open the email. Your first line catches them to continue reading, and you have a call to action. That right there is probably the simplest email marketing idea explanation. Obviously, if you're looking at doing this and you're wanting to get started with this, you should most definitely reach out to Alex to have a more specific thing built around exactly what you're doing. But that'll at least get you started. If you're wanting to get started, get you a list of 1,000, 500,000 or more emails and start doing it. You don't need any of the programs. I said you can physically do it yourself. If you're on a shoestring budget, you can literally send out 5 emails an hour or 10 emails an hour and just do it manually if you need to. If you're on a shoestring budget and you can't do it, you can do that. If you have a few dollars to spend, then get on and check out some of the other things. Check out Lemlist, check out Instantly, Woodpecker, GMass. Those are both good. There's tons and tons of ones that you can try out. ClickReach is another one. If you get on AppSumo, if they still have it, you can get a 1 account for pretty cheap. And it's a one-time fee. Obviously, if you're going for sheer volume, you can't beat Instantly. Just for the dollars per month that you'll spend for having unlimited access to email, you can't get much better than that. So that's the email, cold email, kind of in a nutshell there. We'll give Rod a few more minutes to see if he pops back in. What are you doing? So we talked about subject line of catching attention to keep to pique people's interest to learn more. Open email. So that kind of leads into the next question. What are you doing? What are you doing differently that helps customers, right? What can you say that you solve for your customers? Because at the end of the day, if I don't solve anything, then I'm no different than anybody else. If I can't be specific to a customer about explaining, I understand them, that I can explain the problems that they're having to them, then I'm just the same as any other cleaning company. And by not differentiating myself, there's no way that I can convince somebody to spend more money. right? They're gonna, if they look and say Josh's company is 25% higher, and there was no difference between them and this other company who's 25% lower, why would they spend extra money? So make sure, just like with your subject line, you want them to open. Your other thing, what you're doing, how you're talking to customers, how you can understand their problems, how you can solve their problems. Make sure you're doing stuff that continues to pique their interest, continues to make them understand that you understand their problems and you are different. You're not just the same cleaning company, and that also will win you more opportunity for charging more of a premium price because you're a specialist at that point. If you guys haven't,
Yeah, Johnson back.
Hey, Rod.
Yeah. So I was definitely I was debating on which chemical I use because I know when I read that stone cleaner, I'm gonna look at it when I get in front of it. But that stone cleaner, I don't know if it was just mainly used for like special type of stone, like limestone and things
Right.
like that. I don't know if that'll be good enough, to keep that up.
Right.
But it's definitely not a dirt buildup.
It's not grease buildup, right? It's just from years of just walking. It's just dirt and grime more than grease.
Yeah, dirt and grime, no grease.
So what? And this is going to be off the wall, but I'll bring it back once I ask this question. What are you using when you get into really nasty carpeting? So you've talked about what you use as far as your end cap solution. I can't remember what you call it. It's like Dragon or something like that, right?
Yeah, and that's pretty much. So it's two versions of it. They have one called Green Dragon, which is straight neutral, and then they have a Dragon Fire or Drag. It's just the more it's a higher pH.
Right.
That so I'll just switch the dilutions up, and that's the thing. I've been thinking about using that too because it could be used on any type of floor.
Right. And that's kind of the reason why I was asking that, right? So my go-to when I'm scrubbing floors, my go-to is Grease Hog, which is for carpet cleaning. But when you scrub a floor with it, because it's end cap, it's trying to break down that dirt. It's trying to get into all the porous things, which you have a lot of in concrete, trying to get in and break that down. So if what I would do, I think if I was in your shoes, is I would probably test a couple of spots. I mean, I would test your Dragon in a spot. I would pick probably the dirtiest spot and test maybe 2 or 3 of my chemicals to say, okay, this is the one I'm doing, right? Your Cyclone sounds like it's going to be awesome because if it's designed for cleaning the grout lines basically cement. So
Right.
that may be awesome on it. The other stuff with a higher pH and end cap may also be awesome on it. You may not notice the difference between either one, and then in which case then you can say, okay, I'm gonna use the cheaper one because it's not gonna make any difference. Or you might not notice the difference, but one cuts it faster than the other one, then obviously you'll say, hey, I don't care. I'm gonna spend the money on the chemical and save myself the labor.
Right.
But I think you're probably correct with the saying the stone cleaner is probably last on your list for checking. You know your tile and grout cleaner would probably clean it pretty good. Chemis would probably clean it pretty good. And then your dragon the dragon for your end cap might clean it really well. Nothing in the pictures you showed me looked like it was just completely demolished. I think any of those three would probably clean fairly well.
Yeah.
Now, I guess then the next thing you could also look at too is your access to hot water or anything like that too, right? Because some of the chemicals are going to perform better if they have hotter water. Your grout cleaner one and the end cap would probably both perform better with hot water. I don't think it matters with chemis, but I'm not 100% for sure on that.
Yeah, I don't think it does either. One thing I'm definitely caught up on is the pricing. I don't know how to price it either.
Well, the biggest thing with that is making sure you're not going to lose your butt, right? So you're going to have to I personally, if I'm ever questioning, I always let me do a test spot, and I'll pick the nastiest spot to do a test on it. So then I can estimate, hey, is this normal? Is this normal time, or is this going to be extended time? Once you can establish that, then you can go back and say, okay, let's say it's average. You do a spot and it's average. Then you can say, okay, for scrubbing concrete, for scrubbing tile, I'm about 65% what I would charge for strip and wax. Right. So it would look like for a concrete scrub, I would be at probably around 30 to 40 cents a square foot.
Gotcha.
And you can fluctuate that. Obviously, the stairs, that's going to slow you down. You're gonna have to say, okay, can I get the orbiter on there? If I can't, then you're going to have to step back to what like a drill head on a Milwaukee. Is that what you were talking about?
So I got two. I have the regular drill, like the brush. It's a brush for cement. I know you've seen those brushes. Like a black brush for cement. But I also, besides the drill, I have this Milwaukee buffer, like that you use on the cars and stuff.
Right.
I've been doing that, like end capping stairs and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah. Gotcha.
So yeah, that I think that'd do a good job too.
Which either one of those, your orbiter, your Auric or the Milwaukee are both going to be pretty similar. And the stairs were wide enough to take either one of them. So the biggest thing is that how time consuming that's going to be. What you'll probably want to try and figure out is how big is a step. The step looked like it was about 2 feet deep, maybe a little bit more than that, and they're about 4.5 feet wide. So you're looking at about 10 square feet. So the question is, how long is it going to take you to clean 10 square feet? Because in order to do the steps, you're going to basically be on your hands and knees for that. So you're going to want to make sure you either charge by the stair or you increase that your production rate for those steps. I think personally, I would say, all right, how long is a step going to take me? Probably realistically 10 square feet. Lay it, wait for it, scrub it. You're probably realistically, and then somehow vacuuming it up. Probably what 10 minutes. Give or take, you're probably going to spend about 10 minutes on a step. So you might want to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to charge, if say your hourly rate for special service is $100 an hour, you're gonna say 100 divided by 6, because I can only get 6 steps done in an hour. You're gonna be around like $15 to $18 a stair. So you could go something like that, where you say, okay, I'm charging 40 cents a square foot for all the square footage, but I'm charging $10 a step or $30 a step, and there's 100 steps in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I think with the stairs, right, you could probably lay out, depending on how long it takes you, you could probably lay out maybe 3 steps, right? So you lay out 3, and then you work from the bottom. As stupid as this sounds, you work from the bottom up, so you're not kneeling in your solution on the next step. You've got that one cleaned up, and then you're working on it. Now you will have to go back and remop it so you're not making stains, but that's still, at least in my opinion, I'm always one for, I don't want to kneel in my chemical. If I can keep my pants dry, I'm going to prefer to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas it's funny, because if you were doing carpet, you'd do it exactly the opposite way, because you're like, I don't want to kneel on wet carpet the whole time. I'm gonna work from the top down.
I need to give me some knee pads. I always forget until I'm on the job like that.
For sure, man. Especially if you're going to get into that, it looked like there was quite a few stairs. That's going to be something, money well spent.
Yeah, it's like 20. So then you got some little stairs, and then you got a lot of those big stairs.
Right.
So close to 50, 60 stairs. When
Right.
far as normal stairs, if you converted it to normal stairs.
Gotcha. Now that's the thing too, is once you get, you might be able to, once you get like 2-3 stairs where you can stand far enough away from them, you might be able to run the auric and be standing up, not have to kneel down, just run that auric over them and then move up, run it over and move up.
Do you think that strip pad would be too aggressive?
I mean, it's concrete. You're not going to hurt it.
Yeah, so I was thinking.
I mean, I wouldn't use anything less than maybe a red pad, but I don't think you're going to get it scrubbed deep enough with a red pad. I don't see why a black pad would hurt it, especially on a machine as light as an auric or a Milwaukee buffer. I mean, even either one of those, I don't think you're gonna mess up the floor. Now, the other ones with a heavier machine, depending on what you're using, then you may want to do a test spot to make sure. But it's concrete. I really don't think you can mess it up.
Yeah, I really wish I could use that Trinity, but when I use that on like a job like that, I can't have too much water. It'll get to splashing.
The pad vibrates and splashes it everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So get a smaller pad.
Huh?
So get you a smaller pad, right? So the Trinity says I'm 19 inches, but the brush is only 16 inches. Its orbit is 19 inches. If you get a 19-inch pad, you've got an inch and a half all the way around hanging out that's shaking and throwing liquid off. But if you had a 16-inch pad under just the brush of that, it's not going to do that.
Ah, okay. So that might be an option for I'm thinking, because I like that Power Flight machine a lot,
Right.
and so do they. They see me do it on the bathroom.
Right.
Only thing is, I had to get the sprayer part fixed. I'm still waiting on that. But I'm thinking of, spraying it down with the the cyclone stuff or the end cap stuff.
Right.
And then putting like some neutralizing cleaner in the Power Flight and picking it up.
Do you have a vacuum like a wet dry vac for
Yeah, I do.
swabs?
It's
Because
not super big. It's I say it's like medium size.
the biggest issue that I run into, and I've not used it, but I know the size of that that Power Flight, that multi-wash, is that tank's only a gallon. So if you got too much
Yeah,
water on the floor, you're spending more time dumping it than you are cleaning.
right.
But if you had like a shop vac and just vacuum it up, um, do you squeegee when you're doing like floor strip? I assume you use shop vac. You're not using the Power Flight, right?
Oh yeah. Street trouble.
So are you squeegeeing? Do you have a squeegee head, like a vacuum head on it? How are you picking up your slurry when you're stripping?
So yeah, I've been what did I do? Yeah, I've used that. I gotta get it. I'm glad you brought it up because I have to get a new one because the I guess the old wax from other jobs has damaged it.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta get a new one. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did. The last time I did, I tried it with the extractor,
Mm-hmm.
the blitz.
Right.
Pretty much, um, what happened with the blitz? It worked fine. I actually liked it because I was, spraying the stuff down and picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I noticed, I think it might still damage the vacuum for some reason. I don't know. It started sounding a little weird, but it's probably due to the foam.
The foam, what happens is when your stripper foams and it gets up into the motor, it's going to crystallize in that motor, just similar to what an end cap does, but it's worse because it's in the vacuum motor.
Right.
And that's all it is. If you're using that all the time for that, you've got to be able to flush that, either flush it out or keep your foam down by using some sort of defoamer.
Yeah, I used the foamer last time. I'm like, geez, you need
Yeah.
a couple gallons of this stuff.
Yeah. But depending on where you're at, that you can, I think rubbing alcohol, if you spray on it, it'll dissipate your foam too. Of course, that's, all of that takes time.
Right. So I'm gonna just go back.
Yeah.
You know,
I
need
mean,
to get me a real big one.
you've got what size shop vac do you have?
I think it's like 16, maybe 12.
Gotcha. And you're not going to put that much water on the floor, even if you had to dump it twice. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not bad.
I'm not stripping it, so.
I mean, you've got. I mean, as far as laying down your solution, you've got your Ryobi, where I assume that's how you're going to lay it down, is with your Ryobi, the pressure washer, just to spray it out.
Yeah.
And you've got your vacuum. I mean, that's one of those things. I love using the extractor for picking stuff up, and because it's one machine spraying it out, picking it up. But that's the thing you have to worry about, it is when you're getting the foam build up like that, is it going to mess up the motor? And then sometimes it doesn't matter, because I mean, depending on your extractor and the ease of getting to the vacuum motor, it's like, it don't matter. I'm going to use it until that motor burns out, and then the motor's $90. Now I can change it in 10 minutes. So it's one of those things. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. Having, a shop vac that you can use, you spend 70, $80 on, and you use for 2 years and throw it away. Sometimes that's easier too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I need to learn how to install that stuff myself. That's what I need to do.
well, if you've tinkered with stuff before, it's not as hard as you think. The biggest thing with extractors is the placement of those vacuum motors. Sometimes they're such a pain to get to, or the wires are just put in such a way that it's hard to put it back together afterwards.
Yeah, it's like a million wires under there.
Yep.
God damn.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing though, with the vacuum motor, once you can get that motor out there, you only basically have 2 wires going to it. You might, or 3 wires going to it, right? You're going to have a ground most likely somewhere on it. And then you've got your voltage, your positive and negative. That's pretty much usually all you got going to it. And then some of them are just quick clips, and you're done.
Right.
Which once again, if you get, say you got a vacuum motor that use, like, this vacuum motor's cheap enough where even if I have to replace it once a year, it's worth it because of the ease of using one machine instead of 2 machines. You could always just, have a quick connect, right? You can put a quick connect on the one side that's attached to the machine, and then once a year you just clip off your old connector and wire it on to the new one, and then it's still a quick connect. I mean, there's ways of doing things to make it easier for you. And then there's once you get used to it, if you did have to change it that frequently, by the second or third time you're doing it, you just fly right through it at that point.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
So I mean, there's ways to do it. I mean, I don't know if, I'm not going to say for sure use your extractor. Myself, I used my extractor for a while, but it was an older extractor, and it was one of those things. It was like the vacuum motor's $90, and what I would do is it had 2 motors, so I'd only run one. I'm like, when we're picking up solution, we're only running this one. So then I knew I was only burning out one vacuum. Even if it burned out in the middle of a job, I still had a second vacuum I could use if I had to.
That's smart.
So I mean, that was just me. That was just with that thing. I personally liked using it because I had a couple of different size heads too, right? If I was doing wide open area, I had a 36 wide vacuum wand, and then I had 150 feet or 200 feet of vacuum line. So I could literally set that thing in one spot and do an entire cafeteria, and you're talking pickup. Nobody could pick up faster than me because I was running a 36-inch wide vacuum wand. So I could run the length of the thing, turn around and come back the length of the thing. So I was getting 6 feet every 2 passes. But that's not, it doesn't work. I mean, that doesn't work in every situation, but there's ways to do it to speed up your time if you're going to go that route. Obviously, a shop vac is still your cheapest option if you don't have an extractor. That's going to be your cheapest option because you can get them anywhere and they're cheap. I mean, you could get the 15-gallon one from Harbor Freight for probably $60.
Yeah, I just got one from Facebook, like $20.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if you've got the ones that sit in a 5-gallon bucket, the lid vacuums, those are like $15. So I mean, there's ways to get around if you need to get to get a vacuum for pickup.
Right.
So when are you going back in there to talk with them? Are you got to give them a price, or are you going to do a test spot to see which chemical's doing better?
It might be tricky for the test spot thing,
Right.
because they're one of those, like, anyone just can't walk in there type of thing.
Gotcha.
They had our names blocked. Like, it was hard for us to see our name when we were signing in. That's how private they are.
Wow.
So I'm gonna see. If not, then I'm thinking maybe just like 50 or 60 cents. But
I think you're probably more than covered at that rate. I mean, you say whatever you bring, I would bring, your whatever the 3 chemicals we talk about, I'd probably bring them all just in case one of them doesn't work properly, you have backup. But yeah, I think if you're probably anywhere between 40 and 60 cents, you're probably pretty on the money, especially because you've already worked for them too. So there's no more red tape, no more hoops for you guys to jump through to get into that building as well.
Right. And then, but I think they want us to come once a month too. Another thing I forgot about. They want us to come once every month.
To re-scrub it?
Yeah, to kind of stay on it. And then I feel like after they are like satisfied or realize, hey, like this is it, they probably might stop. Because last time we had kind of gave them a quote. So for the one place, the first one where I did the bathroom thing,
Right.
we had gave them a monthly quote with the cleaning, but it included that bathroom thing. So I'll be doing that every 3 months.
Right.
Tile and grout. But
Right.
they said with these next ones, they want us to just separate it.
Gotcha. I mean, you can always do a higher price and bring that down too, right? So it's just like an initial clean. You come in, it's gonna this first clean's gonna kick my ass. It's gonna take a ton of time, but after that, it's just maintenance at that point.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe 60 cents and then tell them like, monthly, cut it down to 40 cents.
Right. So what kind of foot traffic do they have there? Do you know?
You said what kind of what?
Foot traffic. How many people are on that floor on a daily basis?
Oh, it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think it may be one of those places where like I gotta figure it out because we were just talking about it. Is it like a good niche to tap in? It's like a tech what's the word? Is it tech farm? Maybe I don't know if it's tech farm, but pretty much people in that industry, I think, can just
Right.
come in there and do work and rent the place out.
Nice.
That's how I think it's like. And then it's of course regular workers there. People who just work there.
Nice.
So either way, it's a lot of traffic in and out.
Right.
But we had a while back. We didn't get the job. They went with someone else who was cheaper, I think. But
Right.
we're thinking that's like a good niche to pick up.
No, it sounds like a pretty good option there. I mean, after you go through and you get it clean, is this something you're going to come back and just run the power flight on?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Just get it good, run back through,
Right.
and I could put either. So with the thing I like about that other high pH dragon thing,
Right.
don't have to neutralize it on certain things. On carpet, I have to neutralize it, but on
Right.
hardwood floors and all those other floors, I don't have to neutralize it.
I got you.
So I'm thinking of doing it like that, or like at this other office I did about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
They another one was every 3 months. I'm going to do them. I just use simple green in there, and it worked real good.
I mean, you got a pretty good shot that simple green would work pretty good on that concrete, especially if there's spots where they think it's actually mold. I mean, I don't know if it was or not in any of the pictures showed me, it looked like just buildup. But either way, that simple green cuts good. I mean, for tile and grout floors, it works good. What I've used on concrete, it works good. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good option too, and it would probably be the cheapest option of all of the chemicals you talked about.
Yeah, I think I don't know because I'm still on the same gallon. I never actually bought a gallon of stuff till like a year ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It was like $20 or something. Probably
Right.
cheaper. I can't remember. So I'm thinking, I'm definitely sold on that. Those hardwood floors I'm already doing. So I'm
Right.
thinking I'm gonna keep that going. So it doesn't work.
For sure.
That's like
Well, I mean, I think you could probably reduce your price. You say you were going to do it once a month or once a week. You're going to redo those floors.
Once a month.
So I mean, I think if I was you, I would build them in a staggered style pricing, right? So you come in, you hit them right now for 60 cents, right? You get it right, and then you say, here's your option, where you're coming in with your multi-wash and some simple green every month, and you can do it for, I mean, realistically, you could probably do it for like 15 cents, 20 cents, because really all you're doing is just however long it takes for you to walk with that machine. And then, if you think they're going to push you out where it's like, no, we're not going to want it once a month, we don't want it on a quarter, then you move it up, right? So say 60 cents for your first time. Quarterly maintenance maybe due like 30 cents. A monthly maintenance maybe at like 15 cents. So it's almost like, why the hell would you not do it every month? You're only saving a little bit of money. And look, you get clean and it's looking beautiful every month.
Yeah. They actually they just run it month to month. They straight out said it. Like,
Oh, nice.
yes. Because what I think happened is like a new whoever's in charge of that.
Right.
I can tell this lady really cares. And then nowadays they're getting, I'm sure, it's always been very important clients just on the structure of the place.
Mm-hmm.
But, when they got that bathroom done, they're like, hey, we got some real important people coming in. Needs to look good. And they're saying the same thing with these stairs. Like, hey, we're going to have more important people coming in. So that's when it came up like, hey, we should do this every month.
Nice.
I think they already want the month.
Well, that's even better. You don't have to sell them on it, so that's even better.
Yeah.
And it's easier for you doing monthly. You're going to have a lot less buildup over the course of 4.5 weeks than you would over the course of 13 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it'll always look good.
Yep.
And it's cool because I was telling you we had put them on a janitorial, so that's what they want too. The janitorial, that's going to be 2 or 3 times a week. So
Nice.
it'll be easy for me because I'm pretty much right now. I'm the only person messing with the floor stuff. I've tried to get other people on, but it's not working out quite yet. I'm going to say not yet, but yeah, I'm the manager on the commercial cleaning side too, so I have to kind of check this stuff. So that'll be good. Like I could check the work of stay on top of things.
Nice.
The janitorial side. I'm like, all right, this is cool.
And that's also good too. If you guys are in there on the janitorial side, then you know what you're putting on the floor. So you're making sure that you're not putting something that's going to attract dirt back to the floors as well. So it's going to make your scrubbing even easier.
Yeah, because that's another. This guy hit us with like a random pop quiz. No one really even did that, but He's just like, yeah, how we gonna keep up on it? So, yep, good
No,
segue. I already told him what to do. I don't like it at all. Like bleach and stuff, I just don't use it. Period.
right.
Unless I really, really have to, but I haven't. 'Cause honestly, it makes me feel sick. That's the number one reason I don't use it. As soon as I smell it, I'm just
Well, that's one way to stay away from it for sure.
But a lot of these other people, that's what they're doing, or something like that. And I could tell was, you know, over it, especially with that VCT stuff,
What's
like
that
instant stuff, like with the bleach.
with bleach on? Oh yeah, that's pretty easy to spot on that. Now the one thing with bleach on concrete is it does help keep the black out of it.
Uh,
But there's other ways to do it. I think if you're just using less soap, it's going to attract less dirt. If you
oh, so I'm kind of glad you brought that up. 'Cause I used what is that stuff called? Uh, like the Lysol, where they got the peroxide in it.
right,
That works pretty good. And, as I was doing some research on it, like it's a bleach alternative, like the peroxide.
right.
What do you think about that? Think
I
that is
mean, it's funny you say that because if you use like clean by proxy, that would probably clean it pretty good, and that would also be a super cheap option.
is
It's a
that is that spelled like KLEEN?
I don't think so. Let me see if I can pull up a website here. Yeah, hold on. Sorry, lost where I was here. Here we go. So no, it's made by Spartan.
Can you send me that? I'm not even by my phone right now.
Yeah, clean by proxy. Depending on where you get your chemicals, you can order this on Amazon too. This is just the first one I came to. But what I'll do is I'll message you here in Slack. All right. I would personally, I wouldn't just buy this first link I sent you. Just look for the clean by proxy. And that right there would probably be a pretty good option for you. It's a peroxide based cleaner. It mixes down. I mean, for floors, you could probably do maybe 2-3 ounces per gallon, maybe a little heavier because of what you're doing.
Right.
Now, the nice thing about that is it's you might be able to mix it with something else, like maybe a simple green or something too, so you get an extra cutting power.
You think that would work on the initial or just keeping up on it?
You might be able to do it on the initial. I mean, the one nice thing about using a peroxide-based cleaner is you're not going to be able to mop it all off, so it's going to continue to work at breaking that stuff down if there's any left. I think personally, I'm one more for like a nuclear. Let's get it right and then maintain it. So I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
I don't know if I personally would go that route, but I mean, you would always test and see if it cleans up. In the
I'm
peroxide,
not even gonna do it. I'm gonna just go straight. I was gonna do it the first time, just so I could be sure. I don't want to waste any time,
yeah,
especially in a place
if
like that.
you have other methods that work, you might as well just use them, even if it's a little more expensive, just because you know it's working. You're not going to waste a bunch of labor hours. Just get it done and then just maintain it. Now, it's just a bunch of wide open hallways, basically, besides for the stairs, right?
Pretty. So it's like some cubicles that I gotta get like the outskirts.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. and then it's like a big carpet in the middle of it.
Right.
Pretty much, it is like a wide open area too, though. Then it's a kitchen. I mean, it's not that hard to get to, especially with like the Oric. Man, I sold that to somebody. I regret it. Should never sold that thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it like, man, that thing is it's just too good. It's not a bad thing to have at all. Then the person I sold it to, I should have kept it. I should have.
It does come in handy quite a bit. I mean, it's crazy because you're like, this is such a little thing, I'll never use it. And you're like, man, I can use it over on this thing. I can use it on that thing.
Yeah, I'm finding myself saying that I'm not nowadays. Damn, I could use it. Just because it's so small.
Yep.
That's that's the reason I got rid of it, and now that's why I'm trying to get it back.
I mean, if you don't have it, you can always look at that Ryobi. What is it? It's a multi scrub.
Oh, I ain't never even heard of it.
Here, let me show you a quick picture of it. I mean, you already got your Ryobi batteries, so you're talking. Man, you're talking. I think they're like $100. Multi scrub. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. So I bought one of these. Like I said, I already have the batteries, so it's like it was around $100. But there's different brushes you can buy for it. So it comes with a 6-inch brush, but you can buy a 9-inch brush for it that's more heavy duty, and it's your Ryobi 1 battery. I'm pretty happy with the torque on mine. I use it a lot in washing, like when I'm scrubbing out tubs on move out cleans. I use the more aggressive bristles than the general purpose, but I'm pretty happy with it. And you're talking, it's like $100.
It's called Ryobi scrub.
Yeah, it's the Ryobi telescoping power scrubber.
I think
So
I
it's
did see it
basically,
before.
I mean, you can change the head for the angle that you're standing on, and it's the telescoping tube. And then they have one that lays out water too, or solution in front of it. That's going to be more expensive. But for those stairs, that may be the ticket, because it's going to be light, and then you can just stand and do them.
Yeah, then at $100, it's like, all right, go ahead and get it.
Yeah, I mean, the one that I just showed you on their site is $149, but I think that one comes with another battery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so I
good, I
mean,
bet.
yeah, if you've got the batteries though, just buy the tool. I think the tool was like $100 or $129. But I mean,
I do
I
need
personally
some batteries now because I don't, man, I bought some of those things from the pawn shop because it's so cheap. Now they're starting to go out, and
gee.
Ryobi's not going to honor it anymore. Than like, hey, you got the receipt, you can get in the warranty. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at this. I had to stop home. So, yep, I have a 12-gallon shop vac. Still pretty decent.
Yeah, that's all you need. I mean, if you've got a wide open floor, once you guys get in there doing the janitorial, it may be worth looking at a little auto scrubber to put in there, because that way they auto scrub every day. You only have to come in once a month to scrub down those stairs.
Says the auto scrubber?
I mean, I think if it's a wide open area, I'd get a little micro auto scrubber in there.
Oh, okay.
Like like a Viper or something like that.
Never even had one of those or used it. I used to think the multi-wash was an auto scrubber, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. So we know, like, we could just put it in the janitorial.
And that, I
I
mean,
just come down and do it the first time, and then they do it every night. Or well, they only did, or maybe once a week or something.
I mean, the thing about it is if you have to mop anyways, it's going to be just about as fast to auto scrub. So it would be one of those. And that may be a selling point to get you in on the janitorial, right? You say, you know what we're going to do, we're going to get you to where you need to go. Then every night we're going to auto scrub the main floors. And once a month, we're going to make sure the stairs are done. So you're getting your floors all done once a month. The concrete's going to stay looking good because it's being done once a week or 3 times a week, however you pitch it. But that would also give you a reason to be higher in price too.
Do you think it's hard to like train somebody?
Not on a little auto scrubber. On a bigger one, it would be. The smaller one is pretty simple. If you get someone like your Viper or your Clark, you're going to get little turnaround too, where you get that half moon shape when you turn.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking. I know there's going to be some women probably getting that janitorial.
Right.
So I know this might be cutting myself out a little bit, but it's fine because it could go back to the company. Just getting one of those auto scrubbers. They keeping up on it. Man, I know Dom would love to hear that.
So look at your Viper, like the one I just showed you a picture of. Look at the autos. The Power Flight has auto scrubber with a cylindrical brush. It's got a squeegee on both sides, so it picks up going either direction. That may be another good option in there. Tenant makes one that's similar to that. It's called the T1, I think is what it's called. Tenant, you're going to pay through the nose just for the name, though, so it may not be worthwhile. But I think something like that, you could even build up your janitorial, what you're going to charge, right? Say we're going to be able, we're going to charge you a little more, but we're scrubbing this floor every day or once a week, and then you can still make some money by coming in on a monthly basis and checking all the edges and corners and doing the stairs and stuff with the Ryobi.
Yeah. If you could do me a favor, I know I'm asking you to send me a lot. You send me that too. I'm driving right now.
You want the Viper or the couple of machines I was talking about?
Yeah, those auto scrubbers, all that stuff.
Yep. I can do that. And I'll do the Ryobi too. Ryobi power multi-wash, multi-scrubber. Okay. Yeah, I'll send all that over to you in Slack.
Say it again.
I'll send all that over to you in Slack when we get off the call here.
Yeah.
Yep. Not a problem, man. All right. Well, I'm gonna hop off here, man. It's already 11:30. I've kept you way too long.
Oh man, I appreciate you for sure. Yeah.
For sure, man. For sure.
Now these out the park, man. You helping us keep an eye on these joints. It's getting bigger and better too. So
Nice.
I always appreciate your expertise.
For sure, man. Anytime you need anything, definitely reach out. I'm gonna I actually am not going to be able to do these calls on Tuesday anymore. I actually just reached out to Min and Alex yesterday. I've got some personal stuff I'm trying to get handled, so I'm going to be available on Slack and in school, depending on where you're at. Obviously, you're in Slack there, Rod. So feel free to reach out. But as far as the coaching calls on Tuesday, they're going to be postponed indefinitely at this point, just until we get stuff sorted out. But hopefully, if you guys need anything, I'm still going to try and shoot quick videos and answer stuff in Slack for everybody.
Hey man, I appreciate you. I'll definitely be, hitting you up. I thought you was about to quit. I was like, no.
No, I'm gonna be around. I'm just gonna have super more limited time. So I just that way if you do hit me up and I don't get right back to you, you know what's going on. I'm just super limited on time right now. So I didn't want to totally leave everybody high and dry. So I reached when I talked to Alex, I'm like, look, I'm still going to be available on Slack and school. I just can't commit to Tuesdays every week at this point.
Yeah, but I understand. You gotta take care of what you need to take care of, man. Sure.
Yep, for sure. But I'm still going to be around. So you got questions, definitely hit me up. Hit me up anytime you got questions. It may take me a little bit to get back with you, but I'll get back with you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, Rod.
I'll take it easy.
See you later.
Thanks. You have a good one.